Okay, everyone, welcome back to the midweek market wrap up for February 1st, 2023. Just had another big FOMC meeting, so it's going to be a good time to have this chat. So, if you're new here, my name is Michael Nauss. I'm a chartered market technician. What we do every Wednesday is we go through and see kind of what happened in the market so far this week, what we think is going to happen going into the end of the week, and then we wrap this all up with a live stream that I do Friday right after the close. If you're interested in more content like this and access to my watch list and scans and all that stuff, link is in the description below. If you sign up to the email list there, I will just email you when I'm going to go live on Fridays. Or right below, you can just subscribe and hit the bell and all of that stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it, starting with Bitcoin as always. So you can see nice little bull flag, and that's kind of the note that I have going on here, that this is a potential bull flag going on in Bitcoin. We had this massive push up. I basically need some action like this to take place in order to be bullish. Ideally for me, a bit of a pullback that is held as a higher low and then pushed higher. That would be fantastic, but right, we're just kind of chopping sideways here. So, maybe a push, who knows, but sideways action, really not surprising, kind of what you want to see. Now, the only thing that's a little bit concerning is that down here in the lower pane is just the Bitcoin fear and greed index, and it's a little bit greedy right now, not extreme, but getting to the point where you start to want it to pull back a little bit and then put in a base in order to buy. So no trade right now. I need to see this base exist for longer or some sort of a pullback, but no reason to be looking short Bitcoin at this moment. Now, some individual crypto. I don't know what any of these do. I just kind of trade them, but FIL USD, so file coin, whatever that is. It's got the anchored VWAP from this high right here, and then it's got the anchored VWAP from this low right here, and they're kind of pinching together. And then we have a bull flag going on in this coin as well. So I'd be more interested in trading something like this, where if we break out of this flag, I think we also probably break this high right here, and then maybe take a run at that high. Just the risk reward is way higher on some of these altcoins right now. But be careful with them. Again, they are altcoins, so who knows what's going to happen. To the traditional currencies, I'm looking at this dollar yen kind of bear flag happening right here. This thing's been in a downtrend for a while now. All of these bear flags are resolving lower eventually, so I'm just wondering if this pattern is going to persist. So we broke out of this a little bit today, so I'm kind of hunting on the lower time frame for some sort of continuation. If we get back over that high, that's where I'm wrong on that idea. So into the equity markets, this trend that's been happening of we base for a while, we break out, we come back and test the breakout, and then we move higher, and then we base for a while, and then we break that base and we come and test it again, and then we move higher. This is awesome constructive action. This is exactly what you want to see. And today we actually closed a little bit above these kind of past two highs right here. So I think the next shot is potentially this high. See if we can start moving towards that. However, what's kind of concerning to me is now that we've broken the high from here and the high from here, you would expect to see breadth starts to move up. So for those who don't know, this is basically just looking at how many of the S&P 500 stocks are over their 50-period moving average. And you would expect, as the market moves higher and higher, more and more stocks would be over their 50-period moving average. But that's not what we're seeing. So that has me a little bit concerned. Not enough to take a short or anything like that, but just has me kind of holding in the cautious camp just a little bit longer, just to see if we start to move up from there. Fantastic. We are getting a little bit extended from here without any sort of major pullback or arrest, so I would kind of look for that, but we may actually break out of here and then start to pull back before moving higher. On XBI, I'm just looking at this cup and handle. So we have the RSI down here, and the way I use RSI is that if we can't get under 30, and more importantly, if we can't get under 40 on the RSI, that means that every time this thing kind of pulls back, there's not that much momentum in the pullbacks, can be an early sign for a reversal move higher. Plus, we've got this kind of cup and handle look here on just on XBI, which again is our biotech sector. So little base going on here. If we break out from here, maybe it'll be time to participate a little bit more in the biotechs. Oil services, OIH broke this major, like super important high here at around like 310 a while back. And ever since then, it's just kind of been basing above it. So this is really, really constructive action. Holding that breakout is what you want to see. Might take a move higher in oil services. UNG, they call it a widowmaker, right? I have the quote here. So they call UNG the widowmaker, and they do it for a reason. This thing's just absolutely crashed from, when all the doomsayers were saying we're running out of gas, it's going to be a cold winter or whatever. This is why I avoid that kind of news and talk entirely and focus entirely on the chart. So this continues to break down. There's no sign of a bounce. This area that I have went back a long time to try to find a little bit of support. We cut through that today and then continued. This is more interesting to me looking at the oil services because natural gas and oil have been selling off a bit. So with this sell-off continuing, that's great for inflation and things like that. But again, no reason to be interested in any natural gas kind of plays or stocks until this can at least stop bleeding. Some individual names I'm watching. One is ICVX. Just a nice looking bull flag here. Something happened. I don't know. Again, I avoid the news like the plague that pushed this from $1 to near $12. And now we're consolidating high sideways with a little bit of a breakout today. Full disclosure, I already own some of this from today. I picked some up on this candle and then actually added a little bit today and have a stop loss down here. Just looking to see if, this momentum could continue and we could get another move like that on this guy. First Solar is very interesting. We have earnings coming up we have to pay attention to, but we have this breakout point that when we pulled back, we held, and now it looks like it's starting to kind of push up here. So I'm long a little bit of this one as well. Worst case stop if we break under there. It's certainly time to go. Last but not least is Monster Energy Drink. I've been watching this one for ages. You can look back. This $100 level goes back years, and we're just holding and grinding above this $100 area. So as long as we can hold 100, I'm interested in holding some. It's just such a tight stop from 104 to 100. Your risk is about 4%. You could definitely get 10 or 20% if this thing actually starts rolling. So if you're interested in any more of this content, you want daily blogs with my thoughts on the market every night, check out the link in the description below, and I will see you guys on Friday.